Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be Billy the Jigsaw puppet from the Saw movies. Now, you might already know that I did this makeup about 2 years ago, something like that, and I'm not usually in the business of recreating my previous looks. However, I kept thinking about this makeup and kept thinking I could do so much more with it than I did previously, so I'm going to call this version a more advanced makeup, because the first one I did was just a prosthetic chin and face paint. So if you'd like to learn how to do an easier version of this makeup, I'll pop the link here. But yeah, so I just thought it might be fun to try and see how far I can push it and use prosthetic cheeks, forehead and chin, yeah, and change the pattern a little bit. It was fun. So if you'd like to learn how to recreate this more advanced version of Billy, stay tuned. So to get things started, I'm going to start off by blocking out both my eyebrows and be applying a plain latex ball cap. Now, you don't have to apply the ball cap. The only reason I'm doing that is because I want my hairline to start super far back. So I'm going to apply a wig literally back here so that I've got this even bigger forehead. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to block out my eyebrows because I'm going to be applying latex in that area, and I don't want to remove my eyebrows when I take the latex off. So yeah, so I'm going to pop links here and here to the tutorials I've done previous to this to teach you guys how to block out your eyebrows and apply a ball cap, just to make this video that much shorter. So I'm going to do all that and get back to you. Okie dokie, so I've applied my ball cap, blocked out my eyebrows. I've gone over my ears because the character doesn't have any ears. Yeah, and I've just sealed the edge with a few layers of liquid latex just to get rid of the edge. So then I'm going to start building up the brow. So I'm going to make this fairly angry looking, but mainly he's got this very lumpy brow. He's got this very prominent brow bone right here. Nothing else. It doesn't blend off. It's just this big lump of brow. So, so I'm going to take some liquid latex and a sponge, and I'm just going to start applying that over my forehead and up to the cap, just so there's no edge. It just makes it easier just to cover the whole area. So I'm going to do that for about 4 coats, and then we can work on building that up with some tissue. So then I can take some tissue paper, which I've torn in two, so I've got thinner strips, and working with strips that aren't necessarily much bigger than that, I'm just going to apply latex in the area that I want, which is going to be straight across, push the tissue down, and then saturate that tissue in latex. So I'm going to work all the way across for about three layers, letting it dry in between, and then I'll work on just building up each eyebrow, leaving the middle out in between, just so I can make it extra prominent. So there we go, so it's extra hooded and quite angry. So the way I've done that basically is in between drying, if you push the latex down and then use your thumbs to angry it up, just by pushing in really gently, it starts to dry in that position and you're left with an angry brow. So the difference is with this time, it's a lot more thicker here than it is, yeah, just to get the effect that the puppet seems to have, which is a lot of shading here just to make this brow extra prominent. So then I'm going to continue the latex down, so I'm going to apply it underneath my eyes, and I'm going to stop just about here for now. So that's because I'm going to be building up my cheeks to make them look extra big, like where his swirls are, like the puppet has. So yeah, I'm going to do that about 3 coats here, and then we can work on building that up. So for the cheeks, usually I would make a prosthetic for this kind of thing because they are quite big and I'd want to get it as smooth as possible, but I don't know, for you guys I prefer doing more out of the kit construction makeup just to make it a bit easier for you guys to be able to recreate, plus it's something you guys that are easily available to you guys. So I'm going to use cotton balls. Yeah, so I'm going to apply another layer of liquid latex to my cheeks and then just stick one of these down. I might stick 2 in one area, but the idea is once I've done that, is just to use my finger in liquid latex and just rub it over the cotton just to make it as smooth as possible and to blend the edges out. So there we are, so they're in that position, so it's just where your cheeks, where they would sag down, well not sag down, it's just where I would usually shade underneath to make the cheeks more prominent, following the nasolabial folds and then going up your cheekbones, so that position right there. So then I'm going to take my fingers and dip it in liquid latex and just push the middle down and start applying it to the edges of the tissue. The reason I'm not using a sponge is because it's a nightmare to use a sponge on cotton wool, it's just, yeah, it goes everywhere. So I'm just going to do that really slowly. Okay, so as you can see, I've made it so it's round on the sides of the cheeks here, but I've also got it going up a little bit towards the nasolabial fold, pointing to the nose, and a little bit up here as well, just so it's got that fluid line there, because although the circles are drawn on, the little swirls it's got drawn on the tips of the cheeks here, where it's its most roundest point, it's not completely round. Yeah, if that makes sense. It's just to emphasise the big smile that he's meant to have. So yes, I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go over that with a couple of layers of tissue, like I have with my forehead, just to really smooth it out. So there we are. So as that's drying, I'm going to start working on the chin. So I'm going to start building my chin up just so I can make it look like, one, like a bum chin like Billy has, and two, just so I can make it straight down here and a little bit further down than my chin is, just so I can, when I draw the ventriloquist lines on for his mouth, it just looks more of an effect. So yeah, so I'm going to do the same as I've done on my cheeks and my forehead. I'm going to apply 3 layers of liquid latex here and then start building that up with some tissue and some cotton wool. So then, as before, I'm going to take some cotton balls, just make them a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to stick that down over the latex on my chin and just start moulding the shape and adding more and more cotton to it just to get that really elongated and a bum chin. Yeah. So I just pushed ever so slightly in the middle just as it's starting to dry, just to get that shape so it's a little bit of a bum chin. Yeah, so I'm just going to join the latex for the chin onto the cheek here, just so there's no discoloration when I colour the whole foundation on this. I'm not going to go too far over my lip, I just want it to go around this area here. Then when it's all dry, I'm going to take some Snazaroo Clown White and I'm going to apply that all over my face and my bald cap. Then I'm just going to powder all that with some Ben Nye setting powder in Super White. Then I'm going to start working on the shading. So I'm going to take some black Snazaroo watercolor and I'm just going to start drawing on the contour lines that I want. So around the cheeks here, and I'm going to do some around the temples and over the brow. But yeah, I'll time lapse this just so you can see where I've gone and I can blend it out afterwards. So that's the rough shape that I've gone for. Again, don't worry about it being too neat because that's where the blending comes in. So I've got it going around the nasolabial fold, around the cheek, a slight curve for the temples, and then joining on to the brow furrow that it's got here. So this all here will be blended outwards with the exception of the cheekbones, which will be blended upwards. Well, I say cheekbones, I mean these massive circles here. These will be blended up so the harsh line is underneath, just to make it look even bigger than it actually is. The nose I've contoured here so I can colour this outwards just to make the middle of the nose look a lot more pointy, and the eye area here I'm just going to taper it off up top and bottom just to give the illusion that this is a lot angrier than it actually is, and I can taper this colour upwards. So I'm going to do all that, not by adding any extra colour. I'm just going to take a brand new fluffy brush and I'm going to make it a little bit wet, not massively wet. We don't want the colour to run too much, we just want it to be able to be manipulated. So I'm just going to take the colour and just start rubbing it and blending it outwards. So that'll do for the general shape now. I'll go in later and I'll start neatening things up once I've drawn on the swirls and I know exactly where I'm going to be putting things. So then I'm going to work on the eyes. So I'm going to take the black watercolour again and I'm just going to start colouring in the eye area. I'm going to change it a little bit from the original design because it's very sharp. There's no smoking out effect, but I think it'll just look more effective if I do just colour the eye in and then blend the eye out slightly. It's more curved upwards, so try and get the colour and blend it out up here if you can, lower here and up here. So that's the shape I've gone for, but before I continue blending it, I just want to point out, when you do on the underside of your eye, if you do this little half moon shape on either side, just where the cheeks are, it adds to the emphasis that he's smiling. So yeah, I'm just going to continue blending that. Then I'm just going to darken out the waterline of both my eyes with some Maybelline Eyestudio Lasting Drama Gel eyeliner, just to make the eyes that extra bit dark, especially when I put the contact lenses in. Then I'm going to take a red Snazaroo watercolour and I'm going to use a really small but firm brush to start drawing on these swirls. So just remember, they're not on the dead centre of these cheeks here, they're right on the balls up here, so try and have it where the swirls face outwards. Okie dokie, so I'm sorry about the crudeness of this. I find it incredibly hard to freehand things, so yeah, I hope this is okay. So then I'm going to use the same red again and I'm going to draw on the mouth. So it's straight across the bottom lip and it's 2 sharp points out that stop just as the cheeks start. So it's literally like a moon shape. Yeah, so once I've done that, I'm able to see exactly where I need to draw the ventriloquist lines. Yeah, the mouth lines. So I'm going to take a sharp angle brush and the black watercolour. I'm just going to score straight downwards on either side of this fake latex chin that I've made. Sorry, I kind of got carried away there. I also drew on the little bum chin point that he has there and 2 little lines going either side, just so I can... Don't worry about making this neat because I'm going to blend it, but just so I can colour in underneath here and here, just to make the chin look like it's further out than it actually is. Then, as before, I can take a new brush and a little bit of the white watercolour, but mainly a lot of water, and I'm just going to start manipulating this colour so I can blend this upwards, and the bum chin bit I'm just going to blend it inwards, so everything out except for the chin bit here, which is upwards. And there we go, so all that's left for me to do is pop on my costume, my wig, my contacts, and I think I'm done. And that's my look complete. So I finished the look off by popping on a black wig, which I've pinned back into the ball cap with some hair grips, 2 black sclera lenses, which I got from eyesprite.com, a black suit with white gloves, and a red tie, which unfortunately I don't have a bow tie, so I made a makeshift bow with my red tie, so I hope that's okay. But yeah, that's my look complete. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, please make sure to, you know, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye.